Hi, this is Cindy Presgraves with Real Estate Divorced Single Mom. And today I'm going to talk about some of the crazy things that happen before closing. All right. This is going to be a crazy story. Well, I got a couple of them though. All right. So when we actually go under contract, we're supposed to be like, hey, you know what? Don't spend anything. Don't go on shopping spree and all that. Just make sure that don't go crazy with anything. Just keep normal with things, right? Do people listen? No. Do you tell them 10,000 times? Of course, yes. You can tell them reminders, you can send in documents and all that, but it is very important that sometimes we do have to baby our clients. How do we do that? We call them, we ask them, we text them, we even message them on social media. But sometimes that does not work. It goes in one ear and it goes through the other, right? It's just like, hey, we're just dealing with another kid. No offense to anybody, but sometimes real estate can be just a roller coaster of emotions and events. And you just have to sit back and say, hey, you know what? This is hilarious after everything happens, right? But it is so interesting. So one of the very first closings I had, no, that's not true. It's not one of the very first closings. It was actually last year. So there was this lady, this actually was when I actually had Zillow leads. And I can talk about Zillow leads in another podcast. But in this case, this lady was like, she was really desperate. She had a down payment of $125,000. Her credit score was not there. And we were like, okay, what can we do? What can we do? Believe me, when I'm telling you, I went to A, B, C, D, E. I went through the whole alphabet in order to find her a way to get her house. And we did. And she did qualify, but her credit score was not there. So the lender basically worked out everything she could do in order to make this happen for her. And she did. All right. So after we went through the whole situation about getting her the right lender, okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and back up a little bit with lenders before I jump into all the crazy stories I have going on. So once you got to verify, you got to make sure, you got to ask questions about lenders, because every lender is going to offer different programs. Some lenders, they're going to be like, no, we don't deal with 580 credit scores. No, we don't deal with 620. No, we don't. There's so many things that they can go yes, no, but it's finding that right lender. In some lenders, they will say, yeah, I can't do that. Or yes, I can do it. And at the end, they will not be able to do it. I have a couple lenders that they have a lot of experience, and believe me, they'll make it happen as long as they fit and qualify the guidelines. Remember, that is really, really important. So, especially if they have a large down payment, it's going to cost them to put money down. Keep in mind, I'm not a licensed lender. I can actually make another podcast about bringing a lender in and talking about different things, which I'm actually going to be doing the next couple seasons or next couple episodes, so people can actually understand the lending side and how important it is to work with a good lender. Because everybody can tell you, hey, you know what, I'm a lender. But can they close? So now going back to this, basically it is really important. Some programs out there, and it's asking the right questions as well. So in this case, this client, she was desperate. She wanted to get into a house. Her mom was actually relocating to Georgia, and she relocated to Georgia to move in with her. So her mom was actually giving her the money and, to be able to qualify for the loan. In this case, I asked her several questions, and knowing your questions is really important too, especially when you're actually qualifying a person, asking them the right questions like, hey, did you know that alimony also counts as income? Did you know that child support counts as income? It does count as income. And sometimes people just say, oh, wait, that's just child support. No, child support means money in your pocket. Depending on the situation, and keep in mind, this also has to be on a legal document, legal contract. So we're going to go, the lender's always going to ask about what is the divorce decree? What does the divorce decree say? If you're not going by that, then that's a totally different ball game. Because then if you say, oh no, he's just been giving me $200 a week or $200 every 6 months, then if it's not on a legal document, it's not going to work for you. It's not going to work for you in a loan, because real estate is everything is black and white. Keep in mind, this is legal contracts. Black and white is very, very important. Written, anything that is in writing is really, really important, regardless. Nothing that is going to go on an email, nothing that's going to go on text messages. That is not, you can keep it as evidence, but it's not really going to, but when it comes to child support and alimony, I'm not so sure any additional other incomes. That's really important, because that's also going to help you applying for a loan. In this case, so she wasn't receiving child support. It was through the courts, but she had never requested it. She wasn't receiving alimony. But in this case, we did find her a house, and we actually went ahead and got her under contract, which is amazing. Okay, got the house. Yes! 3 days before closing, we find out that she had bought a car. 3 days before closing. Okay. This was a process. It was not only a process, but it was also the difficulty of finding the right lender, but not only that, getting her to the status that she can actually buy a house, because it was not easy. Okay. So after the lender finds out that she bought a car, I'm very, very grateful that the lender was able to pull the numbers and all that she had to bring to closing. But you know what happened on that case was she couldn't return the car, obviously. She couldn't change her credit score, obviously. So she had to come up with the money to pay for the full car if she wanted the house. These people were looking for a house probably over a year or two. And, now that she qualified, she had gone and done that. And this is really important to educate your clients, even though you tell them, remind them, like, hey, don't go shopping. Don't you dare go shopping spree. Don't go buying anything for the house. Don't do refrigerator shopping or appliances or anything. Nothing. Nada. Nothing. Don't you dare. If you have an emergency, you figure it out. Don't use credit cards. Don't go over your limit. And this is something that has happened, I don't know how many times, but it's basically a constant reminder. I actually had a closing a few weeks ago with a client, and believe me, I told them, they're like, yes, we got money in the account. I'm like, oh, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Even at closing, you have to wait 24 to 48 hours. And I let my clients know, you got to wait 48 hours after the transaction has been completed. Then after that, you can go crazy. You can do whatever you want to. You can buy your car. You can do whatever you want. Some clients, they will understand and they will go ahead and say, okay, I will listen to you. Awesome. Yes. Yes. I have a client that listens to me. Yes. Others, they won't, because they don't care. I mean, it's not that they don't care, but sometimes they kind of forget that they are under contract for a house, but they want to continue their same living expenses and all that, or add a few more things because that new house is coming. I know everybody's excited, but the thing is, you can't do anything, nothing. Because, okay, so in this case, I have another case that recently, so we've been under contract since February, and this client decided to use his credit cards, max them out. All right. So it's really important too that if you have a credit card, for example, it's $500, right? That's the credit card there. And then you're actually going over limit, that's going to affect your credit score humongously. Believe it or not. If you think that it's just going to be, oh no, you know what? I just want a couple of dollars. Oh no, 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 no. We don't play with credit score. No, 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 no. I don't care when you've gone under contract. If you went under contract October last year or whenever you want to, you don't use it. You don't use your credit cards. You don't go shopping spree. You do not change your life at all. Do not, because you know what? When we close on your house, even if it's new construction or resale or anything, that lender is going to go ahead and do a soft pull, or it's going to rerun your credit. And that way we'll find out the truth. We know everything. Not really. But in this case, it is really, really important for you guys to know and educate yourself about what is the importance. Don't go shopping spree. I know I keep on saying that. Don't go shopping spree. Don't buy furniture. Don't buy a new car. Don't buy nothing expensive. Well, not expensive, but don't go like from your normal lifestyle and nothing that you would go ahead to appliances for the house, furniture, anything that you have to get for the house, you can buy it after 48 hours after you buy the house. And you know what? You'll be so happy about it, right? But in this case, that is so important, so important. And people might think it's just like, oh, you know what? That is so funny. That's ridiculous. But people really do this. I've heard situations that to closing, I've heard that there's been agents that the buyer comes in and they're just driving their new car. All right, see ya. We're not closing today. And not only that, I mean, they don't understand that you lose your earnest money and you won't get your house, and you don't know when you're going to be able to buy that house again. And prices are so crazy right now that you're not going to get the same price as you got a few months ago. I mean, it's insane. So yeah, I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I did find it hilarious. Because I always remind my clients like, hey, don't buy anything. Don't go crazy. Don't do this. Don't do that. And I actually created a TikTok video. I know it sounded a little bit like crazy, but you know, sometimes you do have to act a little bit crazy and tell them like, don't do it. But it is, it happens. It happens in real estate. And like I said, it's hilarious. It's funny. We all go through it. We get to the closing table, but it also stresses a client too. So also keep in mind, tell them, hey, you know what? We want you to get, what would you prefer? And you got to put it in different perspectives for the clients, and you got to get to know them. You got to get to understand a little bit more where they're coming from, what their goal is. Yes, everybody wants to own a house. That's amazing. That's beautiful, right? But you got to be a little bit patient. Patience. And I know that's a virtue, and and it's really, really hard for some people. Like I have a client, it seems like I'm actually closing on a lot of clients that I started working in October and putting them under contract. Keep in mind also, real estate is not about like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and get this hot client and we're going under contract. No, I've been working with a few clients for over a year, and these are buyers, and I work with sellers too. Sometimes listing houses is not like, oh yeah, it's a piece of cake. No, it takes time and years. Sometimes it might take 3 years, 2 years, 1 year. It all depends. I have a client that I'm actually working with that we're actually listing her house in April 2022. So we still have time. 2022 or 2023. I don't know. I'll have to look at the contract. But yeah. So yeah, that happens. She's actually retiring South Carolina or North Carolina. Can't remember right now. But yeah, so these are things that are very, very important. But in this case, going back to closing, you got to make sure that they understand that you are serious about it, and even talk to your lender. There is a lender that I actually work with. Well, I have a few lenders that I work with that he actually has a list of every single thing not to do. Do people read it? No. Do you remind people? Yes. Do you explain it to them? Yes. Do they understand? Yes. And they forget. It's like, squirrel. Oh, wait, what? I'm back. So like I said, it's just making them understand, finding their motivation, seeing what they're looking for. And hey, you know what? Just be patient. All right, going back to the client in October, she really wants a new car. She really wants a new car, really, really bad. But because she wants that house, we're not closing until December this year. Wait, December? No, we're not. With her, we're not closing till October this year. September, October. And I talked to her today. I'm like, look, I understand. She's like, I want to get that new car. I want to get that new car. I'm like, you can do whatever you want to after closing. In the meantime, you're not getting anything. You won't. You don't. Start looking at cars, but don't. You got to be patient in this. And it's going to be worth the while, because you know what? I also put in this perspective. When you actually are buying a house in new construction, and it really doesn't matter. I mean, prices have been going up. The prices keep on going up more and more. And, you know, they build equity, especially with a new construction home. They actually go ahead and, let's say, for instance, I was talking to a new, the builder of my community, and they have houses closing now in 2022 at $400,000 under contract. That's amazing for my community. But you know what? By the time they close next year, which I think is going to be February or April, not so sure yet, that means they probably are going to have like $35,000 to $50,000 in equity. That's amazing, amazing. So you got to put it in this perspective to the clients too. Like, okay, so you're going under contract now. If you buy anything, you're spending money, and you're going to miss on that. You're going to miss out on that equity that you have waited so patient. It's like putting money in a piggy bank, but you don't even know it, which is amazing, right? So do you want to have that money in the piggy bank and wait a little bit longer? And you know what? You might even get better furniture. There might be better sales, right? So just like think about how to put it to clients, and they will appreciate your honesty, and be authentic with them, because that's what matters. Your honesty, your authenticity, and be the real you. Just treat them as a friend, because when you're in real estate, you're not just building. It's not a one-time transaction. It's a lifetime transaction. You get involved. Like I was explaining to one of my realtor friends in Virginia. We were on the phone just earlier, and I was explaining, when you actually start working with a client, so you don't just like, hey, you know what, this is just business. No, this is not only business. You're actually entering into their safe haven. Houses are considered as private, intimate. Some cultures, like entering into someone's bedroom is like, oh my gosh, you just entered into my bedroom. That's very private. That's a couple's bedroom. You don't do that. But they're allowing you to enter into that safe haven. So once you actually start working with these clients and these buyers, don't treat them as buyers and sellers. No, you're actually getting to know them more. Be nosy, ask questions. Sometimes you're going to be a little bit off guarded, just because they're going to see like, what are you dealing with situations, especially like, can I trust them or not? And they will open up to you as long as you're honest with them and you're very reserved. That's really important. And you get to build friendship. So that's what I love about real estate. But again, tell your clients, tell your buyers, don't do anything. Don't buy, don't spend until after closing. 48 hours, please. So yeah, it's been an interesting day, because it's been a little bit crazy, and I was not expecting that. But yeah, these are things that people like, the untold stories of real estate, crazy stories. I mean, people think that we just show houses, open doors, put little nice signs with our logo, right? Our faces, you know, that's how real estate works in the real world. No. How many contracts and everything else that we deal with in the back end. And sometimes we try to just like not let the buyer or seller know. In my case, I like to keep it as stressless as possible for my clients, just because, hey, you know what? I can deal with it. That's it. And whenever they're like, hey, you know what? They're stressed, like, okay, I want to close. I'm like, don't worry about it. It's going to close. Just trust me. Please trust me. And yeah, that's, I would say that's real estate. That is the truth of real estate. On the topic of, let's go shopping spree. Let's buy a car. Let's go crazy with furniture shopping, right? Before closing. No, you don't do that. Please don't. But all right, so I'm going to leave it there. This is Cindy Presgraves with Cindy's Realty Group by EXP and Real Estate Divorced Single Mom. And I will catch you guys next time. Have a wonderful week.